Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, and now Daniel Dubois, 3 top British heavyweights, all dropped twice each by the same man. That man is Oleksandr Usyk. And at this point, it's hard to deny that we're watching the greatest heavyweight of our generation. His performances aren't just about winning. They're about making elite fighters look like they don't belong in there with him. Against Dubois, Usyk put on a masterclass. No controversy this time. No debates about low blows. This was a clean and conclusive knockout in the 5th round. Usyk's elite footwork, razor-sharp punches, and deceptive power completely broke Dubois down mentally and physically from the opening bell. You could see Dubois come in with a focused game plan. He was using his jab early, stepping into it, looking to disrupt Usyk's rhythm and stop the Ukrainian from dictating the pace. And for a brief moment, it looked like he might find some success. Usyk blocked the first few, but Dubois was firing that jab out with speed, both while advancing and off the counter. At times, he even beat Usyk to the mark when the two exchanged. But the problem is you can't beat Usyk with a jab alone. And once Usyk got a read on it, once he started feinting and stepping just outside of Dubois' range, the tide started to shift. Usyk began using his signature footwork and angles to break down that jab. He'd feint forward, trigger the reaction from Dubois, then step off to the outside of the lead foot. At first, it looked like he might throw a left straight or a right hook from that angle, but often it was just a setup. He baited the jab out of Dubois, slipped the first, evaded the follow-up, and reset. It was like watching a chess player baiting a move just to see the reaction. And as the rounds went on, Usyk kept building on that dot. He began throwing a series of feints, hopping into range with the right hand raised, then lowering his stance at the last second. He'd show one thing, then deliver another. At one point, he stepped outside Dubois' lead foot and fired a straight right through the center instead of looping around. It caught Dubois clean, even though Dubois landed his own jab simultaneously. That moment encapsulated the difference in their levels. Dubois was reacting. Usyk was setting traps. From there, Usyk shifted to using his left hand more frequently, given that they stood in opposite stances. That straight left down the pipe became a clear weapon for Usyk, and the way he set it up was brilliant. He would step off the center line, slipping Dubois' jab, and use the open southpaw lane to fire in a clean left. But more than that, he was using Dubois' own tendencies against him. Dubois had a habit of trying to parry punches with his right hand, especially when Usyk threw his left. And because of that, he was wide open for left hooks around the guard. That pattern repeated itself throughout the fight. Usyk would show the jab, then either land the straight or curve it into a hook. He'd fire to measuring jabs, step outside the lead foot, and then land the clean left. And when Dubois tried to counter, he'd miss. Usyk was consistently getting his head off the center line, making him almost untouchable during those exchanges. You could see the frustration start to build in Dubois. He stopped trying to establish range. He stopped throwing combinations, started winging heavy right hands, hoping for a knockout every time he did. He paid for it. Usyk would bait the right straight by lowering his levels. Dubois would take the bait and throw, overextending massively. His balance would collapse, dragging his right foot forward and narrowing his stance. And Usyk, calm as ever, would simply pull away and come back with a clean counter. Pull counters, check hooks, left straight. Usyk landed them all. And because of how far off balance Dubois was every time he missed, he was wide open to be punished. There was one moment where Dubois actually got Usyk up against the ropes. He landed a jab that split the guard and tried to trap Usyk by following up with a big right hand. But Usyk stayed composed. He slipped to his left, landed a check right hook, then ducked under the next shot. Dubois tried an uppercut in a clinch, but Usyk moved to his left side again and slipped the follow-up right straight. Then he fired his own left counter, missed that time, but it was clear. Usyk was in full control of the rhythm and tempo. And then came the breakthrough. Dubois once again tried to establish pressure, walking Usyk down with a jab. Usyk fired a quick 1-2, a jab into a straight left. Dubois tried to parry it, but the left hooks snuck around his guard and clipped him clean. His habit of reaching 4 punches left him open again. His defense was falling apart under the pressure, not just physically, but mentally. That's when Usyk started to unload. He hit him with a jab, stepped off the angle, then fired a right hook, followed by another straight left. Both landed flush. Dubois tried to respond with a right hand, but this time Usyk didn't even try to counter it. He just blocked it clean, showing the difference in defensive composure. Dubois, by comparison, kept reaching, kept guessing, and kept paying for it. Done came the knockdown. Dubois backed Usyk to the ropes and landed a jab. He tried to set up the right hand, but Usyk, with nowhere to go, fired a counter right hook. Both landed clean, but Usyk stayed calm. Dubois missed a left hook, then clinched as he fired an uppercut. But when he tried to follow up with a big right, Usyk slipped it, moved laterally, and landed another counter hook. And this time, Dubois reacted the same way he always does. He reached for the shot, pulled his right hand away from his head, and left an opening for Usyk's hook to land flush. Down he went. He got up, but the end was near. Usyk threw a jab. Dubois stepped back and tried to settle into his stance. But Usyk followed it up with a sneaky, untelegraphed left straight that partially landed. They both exchanged hooks and missed. Dubois overextended again. This time, he dragged his foot, lost his balance, leaned right and walked straight into a nuclear left hand from Usyk, even though it partially got blocked. The power was too much. It cracked him on the jaw and dropped him for good. An absolutely sensational finish from Oleksandr Usyk, a masterclass in timing, distance management, and composure. He never got reckless. He never got emotional. He just read the patterns, made the adjustments, and dismantled his opponent round by round. Daniel Dubois came in with power and pressure, but he couldn't match the intelligence and craft of the champion at this point. Who's left for Usyk to beat? He's conquered the cruiserweight division, unified the heavyweight titles, and defeated every top name in the sport. There's genuinely nothing left to prove. He's a lineal champion in 2 divisions. And if he walked away from boxing tomorrow, his legacy would be undeniable. A generational talent, a master technician, and one of the smartest fighters the heavyweight division has ever seen. Congratulations to Oleksandr Usyk, absolute legend of the sport. If you enjoyed the breakdown, drop a like, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. We've got more coming your way right here on Knock On.